And good evening to everyone in Speed Gaming Land, and thanks for joining us on a Saturday evening for a little bit more Final Fantasy Randomizer action. If you just joined us over from Speed Gaming 3, you watched a 3-second difference race, and so we're hoping for another good one of those this evening. Thanks for joining us. My name is Ikben Maya, but you can just call me Maya, and I am joined on the mic tonight by Papa Foys, but I know him as Joey. I guess I should have asked Joey, what do you want me to call you this evening?
Joey's good, my friend. We've known each other long enough now.
Awesome. That means I'm on the in. And thanks to everybody that's with us this evening. We have Kraken this evening. We've got Mogwai tracking. And thanks very much for that. We've got a whole lot of new icons down there that we get to watch as we run through these Swiss flags with shuffled NPC characters. We have a pretty good matchup tonight. TristalMTG is continuing what I like to call the Vivisection Tour because he is just taking all comers and has been doing so for the better part of a year now. He won our last tournament. He won the league. He was one of our co-winners for the league, and he is off to a 1-0 start here as well for our Swiss flags. Joey, what do you think Will might be able to bring to the table here to try to stop the Tristal train?
Will's a newcomer to the community, so he's definitely got that playing to his advantage. Tristal in his last race said one of his biggest fears in this tournament is playing somebody he's not familiar with, and Willcleosis, who I know I've been talking to him a lot, he said he's got a few tricks up his sleeve for us, so if anything, this could be a big upset here. Will's going to try his best for us.
And we see that right off the bat with a party difference. Will is going to run with double red mage. One of those red mages were forced, but Will has decided to bring a second one along with the fighter and the white mage. Tristal going with what we've seen as more of a traditional setup for these flags. One of each mage, one flavor of each, and then the fighter to supplement for your melee damage. It does look like we're starting shortly. Joey, what do you think the differences between the parties is going to be able to do for Will? What sort of an advantage is he looking for?
He's hoping for life and life 2 in learnable spots for the red mage. And he's hoping for some good early black magic as well. Outside of level 6, the red mages start to tail off in black magic use.
We are off to the races. First thing I always like to see is how much money we have to deal with. 208 golds and not a great deal of good stuff in the black magic side. I did see Bane. Bane will get the job done here at the beginning. Heal 3 and Harm 4 is going to be real nice to see at the start.
Oh, was that heal 3 in slot 2? That's not boding well for Willcleosis, if so.
Got wooden armors for 21 gold apiece in the armor shop. Tristal ran right by the weapon shop, does not care what's there. And that's another nice thing to see is tents at 17 gold apiece. Tristal's going to let that go. He's going to see how much the inn costs first.
We see Willcleosis off to the races, going to run up to Garland Town.
It was a reasonable first encounter step right off of the power cycle. We'll see maybe 2 or 3 seconds worth after your power cycle, so that might be one that you can throw away. And the second one before you even get to the Temple of Fiends Revisited, and so it looks a little heavy on the front side here.
Let's see if Willcleosis, Tristal's going to be taking note of this. Let's see if Willcleosis does the same.
And thanks to all of you in chat that are watching. Even if you're watching this for the first time, I see Wolfsbane asking, never seen a Final Fantasy 1 randomizer. What exactly gets randomized? Pretty much everything. Shops in the magic in the shops, I should say, is randomized. Contents of treasure chests are randomized. Enemy skills, spells, and abilities are randomized, as well as their stats. Defense, attack power, magic spells on the enemies. It's a pretty good shuffle.
And we have Unwonderable Wolves giving Willcleosis a little bit of a trouble here in the Temple of Fiends.
It gets to Garland with only 2 of the red mages up, but Poison Smoke does the job. and Garland falls down for the first time. We will be back to the Temple of Fiends in about an hour to an hour and a half. And there's the slab, which is our first item. And there's the floater. Everybody loves to see that as the second item. But Joey, we missed something there. What's not there?
We don't have a canoe or a ship. That means we're going to have to take the short walk over to the dwarf cave and hope. You're really praying for the canoe, but if it's the ship, we get to see some fun.
Yeah, the third thing that it could be is possibly the bridge as well. Those are one of 3 progression items that will get them off of this little subcontinent that they're on here. And so if anybody has any suggestions in chat as to what sort of a seed they'd like to see, this is kind of the first real curveball that this randomizer is going to throw at our runners tonight. So after picking up some provisions, the first thing we're going to see is our 2 runners heading westward through a newly opened gap in the mountains. The dwarves have been busy, and we'll see Tristal go do that now. You can get over to Dwarf Cave and check those 2 chests, and hopefully there's something there for us, otherwise this seed is broken, which is not really something that's going to happen in this standard version. But there are 5 chests here in this subcontinent that you can find a progression item in.
Yeah, if we see a bridge, that'll be really interesting. That kind of closes off the gap. We'll most likely find the canoe or the ship in Provoca, but if it's the ship, we could see some marsh cave early. Oh, it is the bridge.
All right, so there's our bridge over troubled waters that's going to allow our runners to go ahead and visit Provoca with a stop off at Matoya's Cave, if you like, on the way. So far, so good, except for the wolves being unrunnable. But that's not the worst thing in the universe. It's just time-consuming. I have not seen any enemies that have any awful skills that have been shuffled onto them yet.
No, nothing too detrimental here in the early going. Could you imagine if that was wolves with anything? Like, that would be awful.
The screaming.
Tristal makes his first run over the credit bridge.
So, Joey, if you're running these seeds... Oh, well, you know what? The second we said that they had nothing, the ogres show their crack, and look out.
They made fools of us.
I was going to ask you, Joey, at this point then, Provoca's open to you off to the east here, but you can also stop off at Matoya's Cave and check the 3 chests there. Would you do that like Tristal's doing now, or would you go ahead and wait on those?
I'd be a little hesitant without an exorbitant amount of tents or cabins to safe scum my way there, but yeah, you haven't seen too much bad stuff. Although now we have Grey Imps with Gaze. So you feel a lot safer, although Tristal doesn't know that the ogres have cracked, so...
Let's see what we find here. A giant sword is a reasonably nice pickup at the beginning, and oh, he's going to go ahead and let it go. I don't know if I would have done that, because I think I might have liked the money that the giant sword could sell for. But Tristal's a much better player at this than I am, and Tristal makes it safely to Provoca, and will be taking on the pirate shortly.
All right, what do we have here? Wow, that's really bad.
Yeah, there wasn't much there. Saber was the only thing I saw that was of interest, and then on the white magic side, you've got Fog 2 and Invis 2, and probably A-Rub maybe a little bit later in the game if Wall is not terribly available.
It looks like Will is trying to get out with his giant sword.
So far, the double red mage strat is not really paying off for Willcleosis here. He's not going to be thrilled with his spell selection here at either level 1 or level 2. He's not finding the AoE spell charges that he would have an advantage at the early point of the game here.
And we do have a canoe, so Here comes early floater, guys. Another jet seed for Tristal.
Yeah, Tristal's first seed against Demarine was a lightning seed, to say the least. It was early floater, early canoe, just like this. So it's setting up again, and Tristal is off to the races. He's going to use that canoe to good effect because our developers have linked the two river networks here. And so you can use that canoe to sail all the way down to Crescent Lake in the floater.
And the one noticeable thing to note here in the early going is Tristal's fighter has not died nearly as many times as Willcleosis has yet, and that could be a hindrance to Will later in the game.
Another question in chat from You Got the Job. Does the faster overworld travel affect enemy encounters? No, it doesn't. Those enemy encounters are still tied to the step counter in the game. And so you're stepping faster, but you're still getting encounters at the same rate. And this is really where we see Tristal's ability to open up a lead come into play here. Tristal and Will are pretty much running, neck and neck, but little by little, Tristal just pulls away from his opponents. We've seen this over the course of the last year. This is one of the reasons he's just so difficult to bring down in competitions like this.
Tristal really is really an expert at taking that slight advantage and pushing it, gas to the floor, and just running with it.
So now we make it down to the Crescent Lake area, where the enemies, well, they get a little tougher, just like the Red Mage found out there, but they also gain more, give you more experience when you kill them. And so our famed EX Peds are here, if you'd like to grind on some Peds to gain some levels. Those are available. But Tristal's going to go ahead and trade in that floater almost immediately, and then he'll be safely flying around the overworld here, checking chests that way.
I killed another fighter. It looked like Will was going to go to Peninsula Power, but he's back in Provoca. He must have got overcracked.
Tristal checking the shops here. One thing we have not yet seen in this seed is where the caravan item has been shuffled to. We've checked 3 towns now and have not found that item. And that will be something that we're going to be looking for. I saw Ruse in the white magic side, and there's Fast and Temper and Confuse, level 6 black magic. I'm going to take a look here and see. It looks like the Red Wizard will be able to learn the first spell in that list, which I believe was Fast.
Yep.
And that was it. So the chances that Will has taken with these 2 red mages so far is just not paying off.
But out of that choice, Fast probably the best out of the 4, so he'll be happy in that regard. And Tristal's going to trade in his hunk of rock for a beautiful airship and fly around. Going to go to the free chests around the world and the open progression, the NPCs that he can access. And he's going to get his tail. Gotta love seeing that early in the game.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite incentive items to find in these Swiss seeds. I think it really helps out both the fighter, because you can turn into the knight and get the white magic spell charges. And really, I think it helps the thief out as well, because most times than not, you're going to be able to turn that thief into a much more useful ninja that can run away from encounters. Here comes our level 3 black magic. There's Ice 3. So Will be happy to see that when he gets here. Oh, okay, so Tristal went ahead and wandered off. He probably wants to see what these resources are.
I think it was, what, almost 2,000 gold, and we're not quite there in the financial department yet, so he's going to go and check some of these free chests here in the Titan's Cave and up into the Cardia Isles.
Yep, it's grabbing some cash. He found a gold bracelet as well, which is always a welcome sight.
So now we know our vendor item is either in Onrak or Gaia. Or it could still be in Elfland. We didn't check the shop there.
There's 9,000 gold. That's the type of pickup that Tristal is looking for. Meanwhile, Will is keeping pace here. He's just picking up his bottle now. I'd say he's probably about 1 minute to 90 seconds behind where Tristal is right now, and that's not insurmountable at all.
No, you gotta think. Does Will have in the back of the head that he's seen this before? Does that put added pressure on him to just go? Because he knows Tristal probably is.
Yep, exactly. You have to kind of throw caution to the wind and think, all right, this is another jet seed, and he knows what Tristal is capable of. And so he's working as fast as he can to try to keep pace.
I haven't seen anything of note here in the Cardia Isles, and Tristal doesn't even want that giant axe.
You know, it looks like the housing market was pretty good there. I saw some saving items, but really, you're absolutely right. We have not seen much in the way of high-quality weapons or armor that you would be really hoping to find here in Cardia because these chests are so easy to check.
Yeah, you're really upset when your best items coming out of here are the adamants. I was gonna say the light axe and the heal staff, but he made a fool out of me again.
Well, the adamant will do. It's another fetch quest that you have to go bring back to the dwarves, but it's a welcome one to find. But other than that we found little to no armor of use. A light axe will, kind of be useful in places like Ordeals or Ice Cave, but you'll be selling that off at some point.
Uncharacteristic. Tristal doesn't do the class change right when he's there.
There's that Ice 3 pickup that he was looking for. Now let's check the white magic on this side.
Wallace white mage only.
It's another issue for Will. The red wizards are never going to be able to learn that. That landed in the harm spot. There's life, at least. The red mages will be able to learn that. There's Elemental Lit 3 and Fire 3 sitting in level 4. So we've seen levels 1 through 6. I don't believe we saw Warp at all, or Exit, or Nuke, or Fade, right?
I believe they still have to check Nalmond, but no.
Oh, right. Okay, so we haven't seen level 5.
None of those super high value spells that you're looking for we've seen. We have gold bracelets for 11k here.
That's pretty cheap.
And steel armor for 22k. As Will's gonna go up, trade his bottle in for some fresh air. And the rod is 35,000 here in Gaia.
Alright, so you're not going to be finishing the Earth Cave until you can find 35,000 gold in order to buy the rod.
Tristal's gonna swing into the Dwarf Cave, and where's he going?
Well, I'm not quite sure what's happening here. Okay, so Tristal is mortal, as we can all see. He's gonna go, he was just going for a walk. He wanted to say hi to Narek.
I was like, did we miss the crown?
So that was a valuable, 5 seconds that Will has just picked up.
Will's gonna want to go to the Cardia Isles and pick up his... Will also did not class change. I'm really interested to ask why they didn't just take a beeline to the Cardia Isles, as he hasn't even checked the chest there either.
the tail for Tristal, and an immediate equip of the Excalibur that he just picked up. And so now where do you go next, Joey? You've got several incentive options that you can look at. You've got Ice, you've got Ordeals, you've got the Waterfall. You're probably going to check all three of them, the way that this seed is filling out. So where would your first choice be?
I'm probably going to just jet over here to Ordeals since he's got Fire 3 now, although I don't know, is he high enough level to use Fire 3 yet? Tristal only has 3 heal potions, though, so this could get sketchy. But I do like this play going for Ordeals first. It's got a wide range of monsters, so you can get a lot of information for future dungeons as well. So this is a good first pick here.
Willcleosis, meanwhile, going over into Onrak, and he was already at Gaia and got his Oxyale. I'm wondering if we're looking at an early Sea Shrine dive from him here.
Maybe hop into the mermaids, check them out.
That is the type of, he said he had some tricks up his sleeve. That is the type of thing that I'm wondering if he was planning on doing. I gotta tell you though, the magic did not work for him here so far.
No. I mean, he's going to have 1 extra cast of life on his 3rd mage, but no nukes, no fades. So he's not, this isn't working out to his liking.
All right, so we're going to see a Sea Shrine dive at level 10 from Willcleosis, who said that he told me before this race started that he felt like he needed to do something unexpected in order to be able to compete. And it looks like his the trick up his sleeve is that he's going to go visit the mermaids early.
Joker MB would be extremely happy right now.
Well, there's a good thing. The ghosts are runnable at least.
And they have flash and slow. Yes.
Okay, so we're checking mermaid chests. Let's see if this gamble pays off. Meanwhile, we've got Tristal working his way through the Ordeals pillars.
Yeah, he had a nice big pack of mummies and whiz mummies and opted to run away.
So far, Willcleosis finding such exciting chests as 8 gold, an iron shield, a wooden staff.
Now he's got a power staff.
Sell that for money.
And a house. There's an actual whole house in that little treasure box, people.
Hey,
oh, but he does get a ribbon. So that's a big find.
All right, and that's a ribbon that Tristal is unlikely to come find, to be honest. This is off the beaten path from the regular progression in these seeds. And so that's +1 ribbon for Willcleosis. Now he just has to run it out.
Yep, let's hope he doesn't run into anything too scary. That Excalibur doing work.
Yeah, the early Excalibur is making this Ordeals run pretty okay for Tristal. It's nice to have.
Alright, Will's got his 1 ribbon and he's tucking tail.
Alright, so we'll see where Willcleosis is going next. Meanwhile, Tristal's opening chests now in Ordeals, find some money.
You got a stick of dynamite. Let's put that in our back pocket. Maybe we can save that for Chaos a little bit later.
Well, now he can go back to see Narek again if he wants.
So true, so true. Too early, Maya.
Sorry.
And he does have information that the mummies aren't absolutely terrible this time, so that makes going to the Waterfall next not as terrible as he picks up his crown, which inadvertently he needed to come here if you're playing the vanilla game.
Okay, we're going to take a look at the level 5 white and black magic now on Willcleosis' side. There's Fade, sitting at level first slot.
Tell us you can pick. Go to Arn. Get that Fade, baby. Oh, that's big. But it's 11,000. Holy smokes.
And there's
and
Warp.
We have Warp.
That's not going to be Red Mage learnable, but it will be Red Wizard learnable, so he can come back after he class changes.
And he has the tail. Again, he was up there and did not do the Cardia Isles. He's going to translate his slab here. You know, I wish we could go talk to some famous person and then they just teach us a language in 3 seconds or less.
Well, their entire language consists of the words lupa lupa, so it would be a short lesson. Oh, we're going to the Volcano now on Will's side.
Alright, so we can say, I guess we could say Tristal is +1 in progression right now.
Yeah, but Will is +1 in equipment with that ribbon.
That's true. And, I mean, barring a complete memory loss, he will have the Excalibur. So, that's not even a big edge for Tristal, as he's going to go do the Crown Quest now and take on the King of Elves, Astos. So I don't see how they think Astos looks like an elf. He just looks like an old guy who has a really bad hair dye.
All right, so we have a value armory here. We got a Pro Ring, and the Almighty Masamune has been found. That immediately goes onto the fighter. And so if Will also finds Excalibur, the Adamant here, he's going to be loaded for Temple of Fiends later.
No, he's going to be mad he doesn't have 2 fighters now. Willcleosis is like, take this, Excalibur. Tristal picks up that giant sword again. He's going to sell that down here, probably in Elfland. Get a little bit more money for these spells. The spells have been rolling kind of on the high end as we get an MLG landing. Crushing the castle.
Thousands of elves dead.
Yeah, right? The spells have been a little bit on the higher end. We saw the all-important Ice 3 was almost 2k. Fade was almost 12k. The gold rings, at least, were in 65, 535 this time. Have we found pro rings yet in the shops?
Not in shops, I don't believe. We found one here in the Volcano.
So we know Tristal and Will both need about 20,000 in gold for fades.
Tristal immediately comes back here to check the 3 chests at Northwest Castle. Let's see if he finds any value here. Again with the 8 gold. And look at that. There's a ribbon for Tristal that I'm not sure will check.
No, this is one area if you do the quest line later, you probably don't check these 3 chests. So we now know where 2 of the 3 ribbons are, which is really good. And he's going to see that Ice 3 sitting right there pretty.
Okay, Tristal, you've got the TNT. Go ahead and give it to Narek. You know you want to.
If he doesn't, I'll be a little upset.
Aww.
Oh, poor Narek. We have a Mage Staff. And an Ice Sword. Another ribbon. So we now know where all 3 ribbons are. And the Opal Bracelet.
Yeah, the Opal Bracelet's real nice. 34 absorb on that Opal Bracelet. Can be worn by anyone. And he immediately puts it on the White Mage. Runs right by Narek again. Wow.
So he just wanted to go down there earlier to make Narek feel a little bit important. And then he gets what Narek wants and doesn't even give it to him. It'll be interesting to see if he checks the 3 chests in Temple Fiends while he's over here. I expect him to if he's checking all the other chests. So the Crown Lock really has the primo gear here.
Yeah, that was good stuff. There was an opal helmet hiding here.
So maybe Will's play is to try to really quickly check the big denses of chests, get a gear advantage, and go. He still has not checked the Cardia Isles yet.
Will's back to buy more spells here in Melmond.
Oh yeah, he wants round 2 of Fade.
He's going to have 3 Fade casters here.
Unfortunately, that's at level 5 instead of level 1.
Level 15, I think, for the red mages and 12 for the white mage, so it's going to be a little bit before he gets those Fade charges.
Yeah, Henry's only going to have 3 to 4 casts of it as opposed to 7 or 8. So we'll see that there's only one valuable item here on these beautiful islands of Zar.
Meanwhile, Tristal has arrived at the Ice Cave, which is an incentivized dungeon. The eye chest will guard some sort of a good progression item.
Yeah, we've got a pretty good guess. It's the cube or the loot.
Yeah, either cube or loot, looks like. Oh, Tristal sailed away. Crashes into Melmond a couple times.
He's gonna go translate his slab. What was the vendor? We know where the vendor item is. I don't remember. It's either the loot or the cube, obviously.
The vendor item is the rod, and I believe it was at around 35k.
I lied. See? You gotta have me. You're here to keep me in check. So that we know the cube or the loot is in the Waterfall and the Ice Cave. And Tristal has that slight edge knowing that the mummies aren't god-awful, and he's just got to hope that the rest of the Ice Cave isn't awful either. He also knows that the nightmares aren't bad either.
Yeah, mummies are the one enemy in these flags that I have really paid close attention to, because you see them so many times. You're going to see them in Ordeals, you're going to see them in Ice Cave, and then you're going to see them guarding the robot in the Waterfall. And so I pay very close attention to what they're packing in these flags.
Excuse me, ma'am. I need this shop. Did Tristal go back for warp?
Tristal now heading to Lefane, the home of the Lupa Lupa people, to go ahead and pick up his chime.
It's going to take some of these very nice experience encounters here for Zombles is deliciously rich in EXP. Alright, Will, what's the play?
Yep, we've run out of fetch quests to do, and so it's time to go do a progression dungeon of some sort. And it looks like it's might be Ordeals here to start. I like this play as a first dungeon to really go ahead and dive because as you said earlier, Joey, the enemies in this dungeon are probably the most manageable out of all of the dungeons you need to go to.
Tristal's gonna feed us, everybody.
For those of you that are deviant and like steak, it's going to be on the menu here shortly.
I think if you look at the random enemies in the Ordeals, it gives you the most information because you see the mummies and the whiz mummies, which, as we've touched on a couple times, you see in a lot of the different dungeons. And then it's got the zombies, which aren't too pertinent. You just see them really on your walk from to get the chime here, as Tristal's just done. But you also see the gargoyles are there, which you see in the volcano, so you can get information on them as well. So it's a really nice starter dungeon, and you also see the nightmares too, so you can kind of pick and choose where to go.
So a bit of a recap now that we're about a half hour in. The seed is pretty much another jet seed for these flags, and we do see these occasionally. The canoe and the floater came out in the beginning of the game in such a way that allowed our runners to go ahead and race immediately down to the Lucan Desert to go ahead and pick up their airship. And so it's kind of a Final Fantasy I free enterprise seed. Tristal is probably ahead by, I would say, about 1 to 2 minutes, but really not overwhelmingly so. Willcleosis did a bit of a risk dive to go visit the mermaids early and found a ribbon for his troubles. But Tristal has gone ahead and finished the crown shuffle and has two ribbons to his side. And so Tristal is holding an edge here as we start, and that's kind of where we are at this point. We still need to see the waterfall. There will be an incentive item there, and we need to see the ice cave. That will also be holding an incentive item.
Yep, we know where all 3 ribbons is. It's just a matter of will Willcleosis go and pick the 2 up that Tristal has. It's almost guaranteed Tristal's not going to go dive the mermaids and say hi. It's always nice when you get those 3 doubles right out the way. And then that 4th room with the 4 pillars is sending you back and forth.
And if you've not watched one of these randomizers before, I went ahead and put the links there in chat for you to go ahead and explore. This is a 5 rounds of Swiss seeds that will roll into a top 16 bracket, as well as a link to our Discord and other tournament info. If you're interested in joining our community and learning how to run this. From a mechanical standpoint, it's a pretty easy game to run. It's easy to start to learn how to play, but it's pretty difficult to master. There's a lot of fun information that you need to start to absorb. But luckily, we've got a really, really excellent community that'll be more than happy to help you pick this game up if you're interested in running with us.
Very true. I think I've been a part of the community now for almost a year, and Kavabesh used to come in and watch my vanilla speed runs, and he got me into this, him and Shofukamachi, and I've been addicted ever since. Even though I'm terrible at the game, I still love to play it.
Yeah, you're so terrible, Joey, that you're 1-0 after winning your first round, and you've got a matchup coming up as well, don't you?
Monday night, 7 o'clock. I think we're on speed gaming. We're doing another 4-way fiasco.
Awesome. So that'll be in a couple of days. So take a look at Speed Gaming's schedule, and you can see what channel and what time that'll be scheduled for. Meanwhile, we've got Tristal running through the waterfall and is about to visit Out of Bounds Bat and the robot to pick up an incentivized area.
No Out of Bounds Bat sighting. Tristal, Tristal, you are letting us down today, sir. Willcleosis is going to pick up these last 8 chests. get his dynamite, get his crown, and move on. I'd be curious to see if he goes immediately and does the crown chest, or if he's going to go to another open progression spot. And I think if he goes to a progression spot, he's almost definitely doing the crown quest last and not getting those 2 ribbons.
Side-by-side progression items picked up. Tristal found the loot. Will grabbed his crown. There was not a whole lot else there, though, in the Waterfall of interest. But Tristal is another dungeon closer to being done.
Yep, now he gets to traverse the beautiful, beautiful ice cave filled with horrors beyond your wildest imagination. And in the randomizer, they could be even worse.
Will finishes up the zombie D fight, gets a good 1,200 experience for killing them off. He is now done with Ordeals. Well, maybe we are going to see a convergence in Ice Cave here shortly.
That'd be nice. I'd really like to see Will either go to the Ice Cave or the Waterfall and kind of try to catch up. Tristal's still up 1 incentivized location. Tristal gonna dip in here, buy some real estate.
Housing market pretty cheap today, 500 a piece. That's not bad at all.
You know you're in a good spot when you can buy 10 houses for $5,000.
Level 7 nuke.
And Cure 4. Ouch.
So that'll put a crimp in everyone's style here for Temple of Fiends Revisited. Nuke is the best physical damage spell in the game. You're not going to have many charges of that, and Cure 4 is so welcome to see at lower levels. That's not going to be available either, so you better get your menuing strats ready with your heal pots.
Tristal's gonna have some poisonous nachos to go along with his steak here. Or Doritos, as some other people call them.
Some people think all Doritos are poisonous.
No, those people might not be wrong. As Will is going back to Crescent Lake. And he's going to grab Fast, but not Temper. He's going to be a little sad about that.
Yep, Fast is the only spell those Red Wizards are going to be able to learn, and so Temper and Confuse are going to be off the table, which means that Will is probably going to want to, would find the Power Bonk really welcome here.
Everybody loves a little extra power in their life. Tristal making the first dive into... Oh, actually, this is the second time coming in, but... And Willcleosis just landed in the river and is going to go ahead and do his crown quest, so he might find 3 ribbons. Do you think that's going to potentially give him an edge going into Temple of Fiends Revisited?
Well, I'm pretty sure he's going to find the second ribbon that's hiding with the dwarves. The third ribbon is the real question, whether he's going to come back here to Northwest Castle to find the third one. I don't think you ever feel truly comfortable until you have all 3 ribbons. And so if he does find all 3 of them, that could be the difference between a poison smoke death down at the in the bowels of Temple of Fiends Revisited, or surviving. So we'll see what happens.
He's gonna get his X-Cow here, maybe sell that off. Alright. Tristal does... Okay, he does have warp. And he has his cube, so now Tristal is officially in go mode. Just has to buy that rod.
Yep, he's
not even gonna check the rest of the chests.
Yep, he's out of here. Didn't have enough warp charges to get out entirely, but he is pretty happy with where he stands right now, and he is probably going to be pretty close to done checking chests.
It'll be interesting to see the difference in the number of chests that they check at the end.
All right, Will made a couple of stop-offs there, but he's continuing the crown shuffle. Yeah, go ahead, Joey.
So if this is you running this race, at what point are you like, okay, where's all the really bad stuff? Because other than crack ogres, this has been pretty timid.
Well, I'm always terrified of whatever the Argoyles have, and I intensely dislike Earth Cave because of things like Strike First 7 Arachnids, or Specters and Geists that won't let you go anywhere. So there's a whole lot of places here yet where this seed could really screw with our runners.
And you guys can find that out next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Palom in chat made an excellent observation. Tristal ran right by the armory, which means that Masa is not with him at this point.
Advantage, double fighter. And Will is going to pick up the second ribbon here. If he goes and gets that third ribbon, he's going to be a happy man.
Yeah, he'll have 3 ribbons. He'll be +1 Masamune. He'll be with the Excalibur, and so he's going to have 2 excellent damage dealers up front. Tristal has the Excalibur, and you don't really necessarily ever count on your mages being able to deal melee damage, so it's not probably in his plan anyways. But you would like to have Masa if it's there.
Now it's really interesting. Tristal jumps the treasure trove, the armory, on the second floor in the volcano, but he's going out of his way to check these chests down here on the 4th floor or 5th floor.
It really makes me wonder if he's going to come back and do the armory after he kills Carrie. Just go ahead and check these chests, kill the fiend off, and then go ahead and go right back in.
Go down. No, Will. Wrong way. Down. Alright, that makes me think he's not going in the castle, as he gets a Procate here. Tristal does. So he doesn't go and check that upper right quadrant.
Oh,
and
no,
only one Agama chest.
Yep, no Agama facts for us today.
Alright, let's see if we can make quick work out of Carrie. Carrie gonna bring the darkness. As Will also gonna make the dive into Volcano. Now if Will just jets through this, doesn't check any more chests, I think he's right back in this game. Other than the Waterfall and getting the Chime, Will is right there, within striking distance of Tristal.
That was a pretty cut and dry encounter with Carrie there. Nothing too terribly frightening. Fade did its work, so did the Excal, and we have our first Orblit for Tristal. But you're absolutely right, Joey. Will can play his way back into this if he feels confident with the 2 ribbons he has, with the Masamune, with the Excalibur. He can probably go mode this if he wants to. And Tristal
wow!
Did...
Oh my
back.
Goodness! That is not something you see every day. Now Tristal has to go through the entire volcano again, down to Carrie.
Wow.
Tristal did not have enough money for that in and didn't realize it and hit reset without saving.
This is uncharacteristic, and this has given Will a gift-wrapped opening to go ahead and play his way back into this seed. Here we go.
Boy, if only Will knew what we knew just happened, like, he would be ecstatic. Mass being 3 hits, only 207 damage though. That fighter has not been hitting the gym hard enough yet. And he even goes back and checks all the chests.
It's not every day you unlight an orb, but Will has his fire orb lit now. And so Carrie is down for Will, and Will needs to press this. We'll see if he goes ahead and can play his way back into this.
Curious. Do you think he's avoiding the ice cave, like, at all odds? Because he's flown over it now about 3 times.
I have to wonder if he wants to have more warp charges available to him before he tries to go in there.
That's true. He is waiting for... he doesn't get his first charge until level 15. Tristal loved the Kraken, the carry fight so much, he just wanted to do it again, everybody.
Alright, so carry goes down again for Tristal. And he's going to go ahead and... Still hasn't saved, Tristal. You're scaring me, man. Come on.
It was that temper purchase for $27,000 that did him in.
All right, we've got the 242 gold to save our game, and Tristal is off.
I'm guessing he's going to go up to the Wind Castle now. He's going to make a fool of me. Now, to note, neither player, I believe, has gone back and purchased the rod.
Nope, not yet. The Lupa Lupa people loved Will so much that they didn't want him to leave, and so Will had to push them out of the way to get out of here.
He's gonna scum save it with the 10. Get him, Will. Get him. No!
Will, a friend to all of the Tyros. Good for him. So it's pretty clear now that Tristal is probably not going to go dive and find the Masamune in the armory. And so that is going to be an advantage that Will is going to hold here as we go down into Lower Temple of Fiends Revisited. And I really think it's one that Will needed because the black magic spells, especially in level 1 and level 2, are not very friendly to him. Having that extra melee damage dealer to fight off things like worms down in Temple of Fiends Revisited is going to be super useful.
Yep, and Willcleosis just tried to buy 10 rods, but he did not have $350,000. But Will has lit up his rod. He just needs the waterfall and the ice cave. officially in go mode, although he's kind of been trekking here now for a little bit.
Picks up another gold bracelet, and so everybody is essentially ready from a defensive standpoint. You'd like to find some, maybe some pro rings. You can buy those at some point if you want, but other than that, he's in pretty decent shape.
We must have missed that, because we've checked every shop now. And I was going to ask you this, seeing how Will's played the seed so far, did you think that maybe he was just going to dive in here to check these chests, knowing that Tristal may not?
You know, I'm not sure. It looks like, though, that he's going to go mode this dungeon. He did not check the first level chests. So we'll see whether or not he checks this level.
But he can't go any further. He doesn't have the cube yet.
Oops. Well, then maybe he is. Run up here and then warp back down to the first level?
Yeah, that makes the most sense. And he's running from the 5-guard fight, which is very lucrative in the experience. Worth about 2 agamas.
Well, unfortunately...
No, oh boy. Everybody get your Loopaloopas out in chat.
He's looking at his items. Yep, there he goes.
He's like, oh crap. Everybody get your Loopaloopas out in chat. And now Willcleosis has crushed a small portion of Provoca. Boy, these two are really killing these towns. Willcleosis is going to have the nice edge of 4 invisibility 2 casts, which is the equivalent of casting Roost on yourself twice in 1 round of combat, which would be really nice for him going forward in Temple of Fiend Revisited.
Looks like Will is going to go ahead and do Earth Cave next.
I don't hate this. He is really dodging the Waterfall and the Ice Cave hard.
So, Joey, I don't know if you remember that you and I have some history here with the Earth Cave. One of the previous times that we commentated in the for the previous tournament, we were treated to the side of Jay Coper versus the Bats, and so I just put that link in chat here for everybody to listen to you lose your stuff as poor Jay Coper dealt with the Bats.
I think that was the single moment that that caused the devs to be like, okay, we need to fix this, and you will soon see that there are no bats here anymore.
Well, fewer bats. They kept a couple around, but yes, the bats that trolled our runners in the previous tournament have been moved into a more secure location.
Very secure. Can we lock that door with a key that does not exist in this game?
It's a fun room to go visit, actually. It's coming up here on Willcleosis' side. All of the bats that the developers moved have moved into this upper left room on this floor.
And you know, the funniest part about that is, like, the day after this happened, there's a frame perfect trick in the game where you can clip the bat and switch positions with it that we found out about, but Jay Coper at the time had no idea it was possible.
Meanwhile, we're saying hello to Kraken over on Tristal's side, who said hello to his fighter for about 300 damage.
Kraken was like, you will not pass go. You will
9
not collect
hits.
$200.
It's 9 hits for 500 damage, and the red mage was shot into the next county, but Tristal brought him down with the fighter.
Massive putting in work. Alright. Tristal has 2 orbs left. It's gonna go to the air cave now, it looks like. The beautiful vampire guarding a whole 111 gold.
Tristal going ahead and picking up his rod for 35,000. That's the last progression item he needed to go ahead and complete the game.
What is so special about this rod that it costs so much dang money?
It's one of a kind.
And isn't it just essentially a wooden staff? Alright, both players now in the Earth Cave. Still haven't seen anything bad. Do you start to sweat now? You feeling the heat?
Yeah, I'm starting to get a little concerned.
Yeah, where's all the bad stuff?
Yeah, this seed has been pretty friendly so far, except for the crack ogres. We have not seen much that would cause our runners to be super concerned, which means that, or it could mean, that the game is just holding it all for the end.
Come on, Warmech sightings. Alright, Mr. Bat, we're gonna need you to move, please. Thank you. I do really like the Earth Cave music.
Ooh, Zeus Gauntlet pickup for Tristal. That's nice to find. Gives the white mage a little bit more offensive firepower.
To go with the fades that I don't believe Tristal has picked up yet. Unrunnable eye mages.
So, for example, the Zeus Gauntlet would work beautifully here. And Willcleosis has made it to Lich. And down goes Lich. That was pretty cut and dry there. Everybody say hello to the vampire again.
Hi, vampire.
Everybody say goodbye to the vampire.
Alright, we're gonna see Will kill 2 birds, 1 stone here. Getting the Waterfall and Kraken out of the way. As Tristal is about 2 minutes away from Lich.
So Will's next chance to catch up on a little bit of time here is going to come from a choice that Tristal has to make now. Tristal needs to decide whether or not he is done checking chests. There's a lot of chests here in Mirage Tower and Sky Castle that Tristal could spend a little bit of time to go ahead and check those out and open them up. Will has already... it looks like he's decided not to do that, or will have to make that decision himself here in a little bit.
If history serves itself well, I don't think we're gonna see Tristal check anything else. But I was surprised he checked that 1 chest on the vampire floor, so maybe he's gonna make me look silly again. We're still missing key items like the power bonk, which would be useful for both runners, and the white shirt has not been found either.
Will still needs to finish off the ice cave. He has not finished that up yet either, so he needs to dive down there to grab that progression item.
Yeah, as he so ill-remembered that he did not have the Coog yet, as he's been dodging the ice cave, swerving left when life tells him to go right. Alright, Tristal. Lich says, have a little bit of your own fire, baby.
All right, that's the third orb for Tristal. He's trucking right along now.
Well, I don't think we're going to see another 110. He's making a beeline up here for the Mirage Tower.
So here comes the decision point for Tristal. Is he going to look at these chests here in Mirage Tower, or does he feel like he's done? And that might be an answer right there.
Yeah, if he checks no chests here, it's going to come down to how terrible Temple of Fiends Revisited is. Because Will still has to do the Waterfall, go through 2 more dungeons, and also do the Ice Cave, where Tristal just has the Air Cave left, and then he has completed his mission of lighting all 4 orbs.
This is a really nice encounter to take, though. 4 vampires is going to give you a whole truckload of experience. Will wraps up the Waterfall, grabs his loot. Let's see if he sticks around to go ahead and clear off Sea Shrine while he's here.
Yeah, I think that's got to be the play.
And it is. So into the Sea Shrine, Willcleosis goes to go ahead and hopefully light his 3rd orb. Tristal still trucking his way up Mirage Tower.
Poison Blue D, that's not nice. And we have the unrunnable Naga water formation here. And Tristal is going to check a few of these chests.
Gets rewarded with the Thor's Hammer, which immediately goes on to the White Mage. Thor's Hammer can do some damage in a pinch if you can, especially if you have Fast and Temper. One of our best runners, Minochi, Thor hammered actually I think he Silver hammered Chaos to death a few nights ago.
That's cold-hearted. I think these Gurnagas here join Astas as craziest haired sprites in the game. Going with that modern millennial, different hair color type feel.
Yeah, from a healing spell and resource perspective, this is not going to be a terribly gentle Temple of Fiends Revisited. They have Heal 3 in an easily available slot, but then there's really nothing other than that. I don't believe we saw Life 2 anywhere that was useful. Cure 4 is relatively out of reach, and so they are going to have to be relatively careful trying to navigate all 5 of those bosses down in Temple of Fiends Revisited.
Yeah, Tristal's only level 18 or 19 now. So Cure 4 is definitely out of reach unless he's going to spend some time grinding. And no, we have not seen Life 2. It's got to be in level 8 Magic somewhere, I believe, is the only shops we haven't checked.
We'll skip the trap guarded chest there in the Sharknado room, as our fellow commentator Trenton likes to call it. So we won't find out what that was hiding today.
There's got to be a Florida joke in that. I don't know why it's called the Sharknado room now.
Mancats being maximally annoying. It was 3 spell charges to bring them down.
Never feels good when you find that one annoying enemy that has no real weaknesses and pretty good magic resist.
So Tristal risking some of his resources here to go ahead and clear out some more chests up here in the 3rd floor of Sky Castle. And with encounter numbers shuffled, the chances of seeing Warmech or seeing multiple Warmechs has gone up. And so you've got to play those odds. And by the way, everybody, if you'd like to see Warmech tonight, now is about the time to start spamming Bless RNG in the chat room to see whether or not we can get Warmech to come out and play.
Oh, we got a Ruby, baby. Not only is Narek not getting fed, but now the Titan's not either.
So in future rounds of this tournament, the floor that Tristal is on is going to have shuffled teleporters on this floor, where you have to basically pray and pick a direction and hope you're going in the right one in order to advance.
That actually sounds terrible. How do you shuffle there's only one teleporter?
No, there's 2. There's one that goes up and one that goes down. And so you just randomize their location on the maze floor here.
Oh my god, I'm gonna hate that. I'm gonna start throwing that.
I hope I'm out of the tournament before we get to that point.
Do we have unrunnable airs? Oh god, this is terrible.
Oh, this is going to make Temple of Fiends Revisited no fun either, because they come in nice big packs down on the air floor.
Mm-hmm. And even though the airs aren't doing anything, well, they're squinting at you. Their beady eyes in the air just looking at you like, die. But this is a resource waste here.
Yep, it is.
He had to use a lot of spell charges to get through that fight.
Meanwhile, Will is playing with everyone's best friend, Kraken. Trying to bane him. Well, 10 hits, 489 damage. Goodbye to 1 Red Wizard. Double order of nachos for Tristal. And here is Warmech's floor.
We need the blessed RNGs out in chat, everybody. I haven't seen enough giant robot chickens in a while.
Here's another unrunnable air encounter for Tristal. Will lights the water orb and is 3 done.
Wow, these airs have like 500 HP.
Oh wow, there went the knight.
The knight has been taken out by the air's beady little eyes.
And Tristal is really starting to run rather low on resources here. He needs to be quite careful.
No, I can honestly say I feel his pain. I've actually experienced unrunnable airs with a bajillion million HP, and it caused me to wipe on the Tiamat fight because I had no ability to get through the fight. If Tiamat rolls high absorb, this could be a tough position for Tristal to be in right now.
Yeah, we saw Tristal go ahead and equip the Aegis Shield and a Pro Ring to try to give some more protection to that knight. More unrunnable airs now.
I mean, if you think about it, you can't escape the air. So this is due diligence being paid right here. Alright, and now Will has only one spot he can go before traversing the air cave. Obviously, he has two.
Okay, Tristal makes it safely to Tiamat.
Uses his last heal 3 charge.
He's got one Cure 3 left. Still no nuke charges yet, but nuke is going to be queued up for later. Wow, only 82 damage with the 1 fade charge.
Well, the beautiful part about that fight was he tickled the red mage for only 32 damage and 3 hits.
And the black mage. So, Tiamat's not showing much, and susceptible to the poison smoke as Tiamat is, down she goes. So Tristal has all the orbs lit and is ready to go ahead and challenge Temple of Fiends Revisited. Will is about 1 1/4 dungeons behind here. And so if we have a Trolley Temple of Fiends Revisited, this gap might close. But this is Tristal's game to win at this point.
Yep, gonna go back, get Temper. Probably stock up on heal potions. And we will sail away to the promised land. Boy, he really just wants to ruin Melmond even more.
Hundreds more. I can see the papers tomorrow.
There's literally like 4 people left in Melmond now because of Tristal. I suspect Will is not even yet. Here we go. Warp, grab the cube, and peace out.
Yep, use those warp charges and get out of here. Nope. We're gonna stick around. We're gonna open more chests, I think.
And the small makeup in time from Tristal churching all those chests that we did not expect in the air cave is just giving it back.
So Tristal enters Temple of Fiends Revisited at 1 hour and 15 minutes. Let's see if he wants to do any grinding or whether he feels comfortable for a dive here.
The Frosties don't have too much. Tristal, you cannot warp out of the fight. I'm sorry.
There he goes. He takes care of the Frost Dragons. That's 1,300.
Not too high in experience and HP.
So he's at level 20 and 21 with his mages. That black mage is sitting at 221 hit points. I don't think it has much more than that, if it has anything.
Yeah, that's a cause for concern, as well as these purple worms slapping the crap out of this fighter for almost 300 damage. And they have stun touch. Ooh, that's dangerous. And he doesn't have the ribbon on the fighter, does he?
No, he's got his Aegis shield and the Pro Ring on the fighter at this point.
Oh wow, Willcleosis finds the dragon mail. That's an astronomically huge pickup.
Yep, that's very nice. It's really just a matter of time at this point, whether he's going to have time to catch up as Tristal starts a grind here. He gets the encounter he wants. Gas dragons are great for experience.
Oh yeah, each of these is about 1,000 experience a pop, or 1.5 Agamas. And they are susceptible to the Ice 3, so this is nice. Good spot to pick up some free experience.
Chat noting that Tristal is rocking only the iron armor on his fighter, or knight, I should say, so we will see whether or not that does the job.
Yep. It's really scary to go through here with just the iron armor. I had to do it by race. In 2 points, I didn't find anything, so I had 2 sets of iron armor. But it can be done, but it's definitely really scary. Especially if you don't find any of the opal supporting gear, or the dragon armor, or the Aegis shield, or one of the opal helms.
And it's also important to note that the power gauntlet was found by Will in the ice cave as well, which is going to be an enormous pickup for Will, especially since Temper was locked to him. Will is fully armed and ready to go at this point.
Yeah, you definitely say Will has the advantage equipment-wise. And that might be why Tristal's taking a few extra fights here and picking up some levels. He might not feel safe with just the iron armor, and I think he only has a silver helmet as well. Unless he kept that heal helmet around that he found a while ago, but most people just throw that away.
Yeah, I think he sold that off for gold pretty early in this contest.
Alright, he is 21 now.
78 heal pots. Let's see. Oh, wolves.
It's like, we're back!
You forgot about us, but we didn't forget about you.
Alright, and here we go. We're going to get our first real dive around 119.50.
And it does look like this is a real attempt now.
Boy. Ooh. It's nice to see the runnable of 151 whopping Phantom validation chest, nothing special.
So Tristal is also going to try this with around 78 heal pods. We'll see if that's enough for him to get through this safely.
You're thankful this is runnable.
And Will is done checking chests, it looks like. He is he's sprinting through Sky Castle now.
Frost Giant, Frost Wolf, not showing anything. 3rd time's the charm. Nope.
Ooh, 7-pack of slimes. And a hero run from the White Wizard.
He's been working out. White Wizards don't skip leg days, guys and girls.
So here comes the boss rush portion of the game for Tristal. Lich 2 is up first. Lich opens with Fire 3.
You know it's a bad day when your Fire 2 from your Mage Staff does more than Fire 3 from your Black Mage. Alright, 1 down. But that's a lot of heal potions. That's almost 14 heal potions he's going to have to use to recover the damage from that Fire 3.
Or the equivalent of the heal 3 charge he used.
And we can already quickly see the lack of armor kind of hurting Crystal.
All right, Carrie is next, and here's where things start to get real dicey. He's gonna pocket the knight a bit.
Yep, it's nice to tuck that the red mage.
Only 2 fast charges. Only 2 fast charges on the red wizard and 4 on the black wizard. But that's also his temper pool.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting to see how he resource manages these fights. But 8 hits for 451, that's got to be nice to see.
Alright.
Makes quick work to carry, too.
Just a couple of swings with the Excalibur, fasted and tempered, and that took that down. Now we get to the water floor. Mud Goals showing Stone Touch, or that might have been the Sorcerers, but Will had a really nice hero run across the bridge, just like we're watching Tristal hero run across the sea floor here. Holy cow.
Always feels good. The no encounter seafloor.
And hello to our old friend Kraken 2.
Jumps the gun, but ooh, bye, red mage.
Now this is where it gets real scary. You gotta protect the white wizard if you can. Oh boy.
Oh, bye, black mage. Alright, this is important. Where does this...
This is a critical turn.
Oh no! Insta reset and... Come on, Will. Will lights his 4th orb.
So Will is right behind him, probably about 20 to 30 seconds, depending on whether or not he wants to pick up any extra resources. And we know that Will is loaded for bear. He found a whole bunch of equipment that Tristal did not. So we're going to see whether or not this pays off.
Yep. I think the one advantage Willcleosis has going in here, besides the armor, is he's got those 4 casts of Invis too, which could be, you know, just so invaluable in that Kraken fight, especially seeing it was 4 turns, 4 physicals, meaning there's a chance that there's not much depth to her skill and spell pool.
And not only that, Willcleosis has the Masamune and the Excalibur, where Tristal only has the Excalibur at this point.
So we found where all the bad stuff is. It's in Kraken's fists.
So Willcleosis enters Temple of Fiends for the first time at 125, which is 10 minutes behind when Tristal first entered.
Yep, and Tristal has about a 2-4 advantage right now, so we'll see. Tristal's armed with the knowledge. Will said, now we're going to make a liar out of the casters.
Apparently.
And he decided not to kill Melmond any more than it already is, unlike Tristal. And if only Willcleosis knew that a short ride to his east, there's a 3rd ribbon in Northwest Castle, he would definitely go and get that.
Will making the conservative play to pick up those pro rings, which actually do give some pretty good defensive abilities. I think 8 absorb on those 2 pro rings. But boy, time is of the essence here.
what's going through your head if you're Willcleosis right now? Like, you've got to feel a little behind going back and forth doing those kind of odds and ends things that he did, but it's definitely paid off. You know, we have the unfair advantage of knowing what he's going to see. Do you think that he feels pressured for time, or does he maybe feel like he's in the lead?
Oh no, I think he's probably freaking out at this point. I mean, you're playing one of the best Final Fantasy randomizer runners in the game, and that person is not done yet. And so I bet he's sweating, and that's totally fine. I would be in this situation. So we're back to Lich 2 here for Tristal. Tristal has the advantage of knowledge here and knows that Lich doesn't have much, and he didn't see much from Carry either. But Kraken is the real roadblock.
Yeah, again though, that Fire 3, that precious Heal 3 charge. We didn't see him go back and get more heal potions, so we know he's only got 78.
I love Willcleosis's White Wizard is using the power staff, that green. All right, so as Tristal nears Carry, so let's make sure that he gets through Carry properly here before we start talking about what comes next. Carry didn't show us much. She didn't show us any skills or spells.
No, Tristal did a really good job there, just making quick work, got really good turn order. So let's see if we get the same thing here. Wow!
And lo and behold,
Tristal's like, well, that wasn't there last time.
Before. So first turn Tornado from Carry. And there is the white shirt. That was a question that I had, as whether or not Tristal had picked it up, and it is there.
Yeah, it was in one of the third floor of Sky Cave.
Okay, Joey, so Kraken 2 is not messing around and is going to slap people, into next week if you give him a chance. So what is how do you counter this? You've already seen Kraken 2 once. What do you do differently this time if you're Tristal?
Gray? I mean, you're almost definitely going to see him using the white shirt in Biz 2 with his red mage. And you're going to hope they get off first, because he's got no shot at surviving, I don't think. He has no Bruce early for the fighter and no defense sword, so he's really just praying to RNGesus that these Invis 2 casts get off and somebody survives.
Yep, I think you really have to hope that the Red Wizard and the White Wizard, one of them survives this. Oh wow, Lit 2 is a great sign for Tristal at the beginning.
Wow, and he didn't even Invis 2 with the red mage.
It's going for damage. Okay, that's the second cast of the white shirt. And Kraken has another Lit 2. Okay, this is going much better for Tristal this time.
Willcleosis is seeing Tornado. And that Kraken 2 is bye-bye.
Okay, so that was one huge hurdle for Tristal to get over here. Still holding a lead, and now onto the air floor.
Yep, it is only one floor now, though, as Willcleosis just killed Kraken, Carry 2.
Let's see what Tiamat has for us. That was only 5 hits for 45 damage. That's not a great sign.
Wow. And he killed the Tempers. Oh no. This is not good.
So the black wizard in Tristal's party, oh god, there went the red wizard. The Black Wizard is really key to Tristal's strategy here. Oh boy.
Wow. This is...
Get out the heal This is real scary. Oh man.
Oh goodness. 5 hits for 28. Oh no, Tristal!
So Tristal takes a second wipe now here in Temple of Fiends Revisited, and this is now Willcleosis' match to win. Wow, what a turn of events. But Kraken and Tiamat are going to have a lot to say about this, and Will has no idea what's coming from either of them. They both hit like freight trains, and Will's going to need to be real careful with how he positions his party. And I don't know, what do you do? Do you go out all guns blazing and just try to damage them down?
I think as an experienced runner, you kind of see through the test of time that one of these two is usually terrible, and it might take Will one run through to get the information that Tristal and we have as the casters and viewers. But I think Willcleosis might play this a little safer than normal. If he leads with 4 Invis 2s in this Kraken fight, I think he's got a really, really good shot at getting through it in one swoop.
And now also, Will's choice to change up his party from what we have considered the norm in these flags is going to come into huge play here, because both Red Wizards and the White Wizard all have access to the life spell. And so even if Kraken or Tiamat start to knock people down, there's a greater chance he's going to be able to bring his party back up if he can take these fiends down.
Alright, and here we go. No Invis 2. 1 Invis 2. 2 Invis 2s.
And the power bonk.
Alright, so... And
opens.
he sees the lit 2. That's nice.
You're going to want to keep layering them on, though, because, I mean, we all know what Kraken 2 can do. And so you got to do what you have to do in order to keep your party up and alive.
Now he's going to all offense mode. 214 damage from that fasted power bomb fighter with mass spume.
Another lit 2 attack for Kraken. Will's going to use a heal 3 to try to bring his party HP back up to snuff. But I've got to tell you, Tristal's right behind him again now. Tristal has already made it back to the fire floor.
And now this is, I believe in the base game, the way the turn order works for the enemies is they'll pick a skill first, and then a spell, and then a physical attack. So the fact that Tristal saw 4 physicals from Kraken, and now we've seen that he's got at least 2 lit 2s and an XXXXX is really, really unfortunate for Tristal that first go around.
Yeah, that was pretty bad luck for him. Uncharacteristic, really. All right, now we're back to Tiamat. We have not seen anything past Tiamat yet, so Will, still holding the advantage here, 2 floors ahead, is going to layer down Invis 2 again.
Yep, we're going to see 2 Invis 2s, fast and power bonk.
And boy, did those get off just in time.
Yeah, even 1 cut the damage down significantly. And, ooh, he's making the right play, layering 2 more. I'd even like to see a fog tube here.
Now the wall starts to come out too, because now he's starting to fear other things that might show up. Things that are going to start auto-killing party members. Meanwhile, the knight just keeps swinging away.
Gonna throw on one more power bonk as Tristal gets the unrunnable sea troll lobster sea snake fight.
But still, only just one floor behind now. He's got to make it past Kraken 2 again. But Tristal is wasting no time.
Gotta like seeing that big 362 crit.
Out comes Blizzard for Willcleosis, and Tristal is already one feed behind him.
I'd almost like to see him run.
And down goes Tiamat. Here we go.
Now we know it's wise to heal because the poison touch, not poison, the stun touch purple worms are not fun.
Tristal again meeting Kraken, who found the red wizard.
If he punches the white wizard,
Okay, so Will's going to do a little bit of shuffling around. Ouch, there went the black wizard for Tristal.
and
And,
again,
ooh, the white wizard just barely survived that one.
Invis 2, buddy, Invis 2, there we go. Losing track of his fast charges.
All right, Tristal has
So,
Kraken
power
down
bomb.
and has the white wizard still up and can go ahead and bring his party back up to full strength. Will has played a conservative, strong game, stuck to his guns, checked a whole bunch of chests, has all of the equipment he could want at this point. Now he's, well, there's Cure 4, so at least it came out early.
Yeah, I always like to see Cure 4 when you've done 0 damage.
But except for a couple of chances that Will took, he has played this by the book. And here he is at the end of the game against, by pretty much any account, one of the best players of this randomizer, trying to get a win off.
Alright, what do we have? 6 hits for 286. Hasn't been hitting that gem too hard. As Tiamat claiming the lives of the black mage and the red mage again on Tristal's side.
Yeah, and only 7 hits for 68 damage on that side. That's not going to do it.
No, and he whacks the crap out of the white mage twice in a row. Oh my goodness, Tristal, no.
Will looking for counterplay here against Chaos. Keeping this party HP nice and high.
And Tristal takes his 3rd wipe here in Topher. Just run, Will. Just run. If that rub had critted through the fighter's ribbon,
Six hits for 272 damage now. Another power bonk. And there's Cure 4 again. Wow. All right, so start again. But since we've gone around the spell list once, we know what Chaos doesn't have, Joey. He doesn't have any of those terribly frightening nuke spells or anything like that that we're frightened about. And there we go. We've got a winner, everyone. So Willcleosis with an SRL time of 1 hour, 42 minutes, and 26 seconds. GG to Willcleosis, taking down TristalMTG for this victory in round 2. And look at chat, scream about Bane. You gotta love the Bane kill.
I cannot believe. Well, I have the Hex chat open, and I saw the Cure 4, and then I saw .done, and I was like, what?
Yeah, how did that happen so fast?
But there's the answer.
And here is Willcleosis. Congratulations, you have slayed several dragons this evening. So good job for you.
What in the world happened? Was it the extra ribbon? Was it the power gauntlet?
You know what? It was a combination of all of those things, Will. You guys have a completely different setup and completely different equipment right now. And it made all of the difference. It really did.
I studied Tristal. Tristal is, if you don't know anything about Tristal, he's someone to watch, someone to learn. I have studied my opponent. I went back and I watched his previous races. I noticed how he went directly for the incentive in the ice cave, and I had that in the back of my mind of, I don't think he's going to check these chests from what I've seen. I'm going to give it a shot. Unfortunately, it came pretty late. Obviously, the move that I was going to make came out pretty early. I'm sure you all saw it. It was the mermaids. It did pay off with the ribbon.
Yeah.
So, what do you got, Joey? Go ahead.
I was going to say you both have 2 ribbons. The third ribbon for you was in Northwest Castle. He did not check the mermaids. So you both have 2 ribbons. Tristal never checked the treasure trove of the Volcano either, so he does not have the Massmium.
Really? Okay.
And you guys checked different sets of chests in the air cave. You picked up the dragon mail, I believe it was, and he does not have that either.
Yeah, there was something on those 4 chests off to the west. I thought the dragon armor and the power bonk were in the ice cave. I got them didn't I?
Yeah, you're right. He did not check any chests in the ice cave. He got the cube and dipped real quick.
At what time did my opponent enter the Temple of Fiends Revisited originally?
He entered at 1 hour and 15 minutes.
Oh my.
And you entered at 1 hour and 25 minutes. And so the difference between all of that was your slow and steady wins the race. I need to find all of the equipment I'm looking for approach. And it ended up paying off in spades. And congratulations. GG to you. You're going to 2-0.
My pleasure, guys. For anyone that doesn't know this, I've said it a few times. Ishbin Maya is the one called the first race that I ever watched. I came from YouTube and YouTube videos. It's a real honor, and I'm very humble to have Ishbin Maya call this match for me. We're on Speed Gaming. You guys are great, Fiesel. You guys are absolutely amazing to this Final Fantasy Randomizer community. So I really credit Maya with really helping, bring me here and help making all this happen. I hope it was a great show.
We had a great time. This was just been a riot. I mean, it was really interesting and fun the whole way. So we noticed a trend between you and Tristal that maybe you didn't notice either, but the two of you kept banging your airship into things that you were not supposed to land on throughout the entire seed. So we had a real good time with that.
Well, I'm not the greatest driver on the planet. There's worse things that could be worse at, certainly. But driving an airship Stargazer is not on my resume, Maya.
So tell me about poison smoking chaos. Have you ever done that before?
Never. It was a Hail Mary. I was out of spells, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, all right, I'll just throw this out there. I'll bonk up the guy. He must have had at least 2,000 HP. At least I had him 16 to 1,800. That's why I just kept firing and chipping at him and chipping at him and chipping at him. I thought I'd be able to get him. He wasn't doing too much, but I knew that Cure 4 was coming around. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, he should have gone down by now. That's how I prepare. That's how I take out chaos. And it didn't work. And when that Cure 4 came, and I didn't see a dot done in the SRL, I knew. Well, I thought I knew at the time. what the problem was. But he didn't have, did he have hidden skills that I didn't see? Because he had gone through his entire spell list, and it wasn't, I'm like, okay, well, where's the skills? Where's the nuclear? This is what got my opponent on the way here. This is why I'm able to have this opportunity to potentially win. And it didn't happen, so I'm like, okay, I'm out of spells. I've used all the preemptive heal 3s I possibly can to try and save from losing a light warrior and just try to chip. And so I'm like, okay, all right. Poison smoke, and down goes chaos.
And the tale of two stories here really is... you're the only person who's gotten to Chaos so far. Tristal has not passed Tiamat 2. His first time through, Kraken was definitely training with E Honda this seed, and 4 rounds of combat wiped his party. Second time through, as you saw, he had Lit 2, XXXXX. You got through that easy, he got through that easy.
Yeah.
The real game changer in our mind was your party composition, because you had those 4 Invis 2 casters, which made your Tiamat 2 fight worlds easier, because like Kraken, Tiamat 2 was packing some heat with those heads of his as well.
Yeah, he's definitely packing, and that wasn't the plan. It wasn't a defensive dual red mage strategy, it was an offensive dual red mage strategy. That was the idea. I wanted 2 black magic casters. I learned that from studying one of the champions of the co-champions of the league. It was a dual magic caster, get ahead, and then I'm going to make a move. Obviously, I decided on the mermaids, which you guys saw. I had a couple other things lined up. I tried to pull out another trick here or there. Didn't work. I was able to get off of that. And I started to panic a little bit when I was going to Mirage, and I'm sure you know, I'd forgotten the cube. And that's my execution. It's got to be cleaned up. I really think I can succeed in this game. I can compete. I don't know about succeed, I take that back. But I've got to clean up those mistakes.
And Tristal finally gets through Tiamat 2. Tiamat 2 did have a nuclear way down the skill list.
Oh, we never saw that. I didn't have a carry who gave me the hardest time. Was it, she let off with something that knocked me down a little bit.
Yeah, she had Tornado, I believe it was.
Yep.
But in all seriousness, this was a very timid seed, skill and spell wise. Like, nobody had anything. The crack ogres, and then nothing.
I needed one of 2 types of games, in my opinion, to take on this giant of a player. He is Premier, the guy's elite. I needed a bridge seed. That's what I wanted. Number 1, I wanted a bridge to pop out from that king. Then I knew I may have stood a chance. That didn't happen. Or I needed to get the gear with my move. All I got was a ribbon. In hindsight, it doesn't look like it paid out too much, but we'll take a ribbon any day, guys.
Yeah, exactly. I gotta tell you, Will, when we saw level 1 black magic and level 2 black magic, and we saw the way that the black magic spells sort of presented themselves to you, I felt really bad for you. I thought, oh my goodness, he took 2 red mages and there's nothing here for him. But boy, did that turn around as we went farther on down this seed. What were you thinking as you went through this? Did you feel like your gambles were paying off, or did you feel like they weren't?
This is exactly, I thought exactly what you said. I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, I got a love for Bane. I love my poison smoke. I knew that later on in the game, you probably saw I went after Kraken 1 with poison smoke to try and take him down. I knew I could get Kraken and Tiamat with that. And that would establish my go mode. I was going to go after Kraken early after that sea shrine run, but I didn't think I'd get there. That was the plan. I was going to try to take him out with Bane, but I was struggling. Didn't have enough HP, had no armor, so I went ahead and booked it back, and I should have class changed at that point as well, and I didn't. Another tactical error and big mistake. I had to go back to Melmon 3 times. I had to go back in a 4th time to translate the slap. Tactical errors over and over and over, and I started to panic because of those. And the black magic that I'd been practicing with was not there. Ice 3, I didn't even utilize it at all. So you could see me adjust. Waterfall and Ice Cave were saved for last. I wanted a warp spell. I definitely wanted the warp spell. I was going to check that chest in Ice Cave, and I was going to check those chests. I skipped the Frost Dragon ones because I figured I was behind, and because I didn't think Tristal would do that.
You know what? You can stop saying that you don't think you're very good at this game, because you've officially arrived. Congratulations.
It's an honor to hear it from you. Thank you very much. I don't know if this is a putting the league on the notice thing. I honestly do not feel it is. If you watch this match, all those errors, maybe they can be cleaned up. I don't know. I love Final Fantasy Maya, Papa Foys. I absolutely love it, and I love this community. The things that I say on the microphone, things that you say on the microphone about the Discord are absolutely true, and I mean them from the bottom of my heart. It's absolutely true. This is the greatest community I've ever certainly been a part of.
Now, you talk about all of the mistakes you made, and we'll go ahead and let you know. Tristal actually had maybe close to, I'd say, on par with the not talking to the sages error this seed. He actually killed Carrie, flew to Crescent Lake, went shopping, and then reset and had to do it all over again. And lost about 4 minutes, yeah.
Okay.
We were kind of sitting here like, what just happened?
So that
he went to the inn and he didn't have enough money for the inn and he wasn't paying attention
and this shows anyone.
Well, 1 hour 53 minutes 4 seconds for TristalMTG. GG to him. Fourth try was a charm for Temple of Fiends Revisited for him this time. That's what happens in these seeds. These seeds are go, 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 and I am a proponent of what Tristal did as much as anyone else that runs these seeds. But when you go fast in these seeds, every once in a while, it's going to catch you just like it did Tristal today. But GG to him. He got through it. He didn't grind. He just went ahead and played his game, and it finally paid off here on the fourth trip. We're joined in chat by Tristal as well. Tristal, GG to you. I know that this Temple of Fiends Revisited, it probably didn't go the way you thought it was going to.
Yeah, I mean, that didn't help, but I was not playing very well, as some of you can see today, so... yeah, very well-deserved Willcleosis. GG.
GG, Tristal. An honor to play you. Thank you very much.
You definitely had a lot of fun, Tristal, landing and killing all of the civilians of Melmond and Lufendia. What was going through your mind? The big play I can remember clearly is you got carry one down and you went shopping and then you reset. Like, what was going through your mind when that happened?
Yeah, Crescent Lake Inn was too expensive for me after I got greedy in the shops. I mean, after you do something like that, you just gotta collect yourself, try and recover from it, just go do your job. I think hopefully in this one that didn't end up making the difference. It was pretty much just TOFR whooping my butt back and forth. So that's how it goes sometimes. I guess I just skipped the wrong chests, didn't get adequate armor for the knight, didn't get Mazmune, Power Gauntlet, Defense Sword, lots of fun things I could have found and just didn't.
Yeah, to go off on that, you checked the chests on the third and the fourth floor, or not the fourth, but just the fourth floor. But in the Volcano, you didn't do the armory, which would have paid dividends because the Mazmune was there. And I don't think you picked up anything too exciting on that fourth floor. Is there a reason you skipped the armory on that second floor?
Yeah, I was sort of in mental go mode at that point. Just didn't feel like it was worth it. You know, the Mazmune just happened to be there this time. If it were in some easier chests, it would have been happened this time.
Tristal, how did you feel with running three mages, how the black and the white magic spooled out in this seed for you? You think it was a contributing factor to the problems that you faced in Temple of Fiends?
Sort of. I mean, the real problem was that Kraken 2 and Tiamat 2 weren't taking any issues with just smacking everybody one by one. So the magic didn't really make a difference in that regard. But had I gotten, you know, like a level 1 nuke or fade, that would have helped leveling up on the way there. Although I probably would have just stopped at 22 roughly where I ended up as well. So I think overall in the end it didn't really make a difference with the Temple of Fiends bosses. But it was definitely a hindrance the rest of the run, not having Warper Eggs that I had to grind outside on-rack just to get fast charge to try and kill Kraken. The whole seed was kind of a demonstration of what to do with low resources, I guess, in my case.
Yeah, no, it was a pretty effective demonstration too, until you ran into Kraken too, and then Tiamat too. You know, Papa Foyes and I were talking that the Kraken 2, the first Kraken 2 encounter you had was just an awful fluke, because Kraken never did that again for either you or Will, and so that was just kind of a bad break, to be completely honest.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting the second time going down, and all it did was lit 2. But then Tiamat 2 made up for it, so yeah, that didn't work out great for me. I definitely regret not finding better armor for my knight at the very least. Not a whole lot I could do.
It was in the ice cave.
Yeah, I mean, there was no way I was actually going to full clear ice cave at that point, so...
And Will, that's a good transition, because I would like to ask you that question. You did ice very late, and you continued to full clear ice, and then you cleared a whole lot of Mirage Tower and Sky Castle too. What were you looking for at that point? Were you just looking for the complete set?
I didn't do any of Mirage Tower, and I only checked the 4 chests on the west. In Sky Castle, I was blowing through there, actually. The thing with the ice cave was warp. Tristal just talked about it. That's why I saved Waterfall and ice cave for last. It was a plan based upon this stuff isn't popping up. I went to Elfland really late. I figured it would be there, and I would go knock those 2 out. Son of a gun wasn't there. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, oh no, do not be... If it's just warp, do not be Red Wizard locked. Thank gosh it wasn't. It was Red Wizard in the 2nd slot. But I studied my opponent. I know exactly what he was going to do. I knew he was going to probably go Ice Cave last, use Warp, grab, whatever it was, the loot, cube, crown, whatever it was, and get out of there. It's the right play to make. That's what a professional does. And I knew that. And I took that information. I said, all right, this is the 2 things I'm going to do. It's going to be Ice Cave, and it's going to be Mermaids. It could have been Marsh Cave. I considered that at that point. But I knew Ice Cave was going to be up there for me based upon the studying of my opponent.
Well, and your strategy paid off in the end. With a victory, you're going to go to 2-0, and so congratulations to you, Will. Tristal, thoughts for you? You're gonna fall to 1-1, which probably terrifies everybody else that's going to be 1-1 in that pool. But we have 5 whole weeks of these Swiss flag seeds, and with the experience that you had today, Tristal, do you feel like you need to make any changes or want to make any changes to your approach for these flags, or was today more just of rando being rando and them's the breaks, and you're going to be all right?
Yeah, I mean, more practice is always better. I don't think there's any real fundamental changes I need to make other than try not to play as sloppy as I did. This time it was kind of just a case of Kraken and Tiamat didn't want me to win this one, I think. So that's so it goes. There's going to be that low percentage chance that some of these fiends are just going to completely stonewall me. So I usually just play to try and be as quick as possible, even if I'm a little bit underleveled, and just, sometimes it's not going to happen.
All right, Will. All right, Will, and then any final thoughts from you, Willcleosis? You're going to go to 2-0, and any thoughts as we sort of start to wind things up here?
I'd like to thank Speed Gaming, Fiesel, our other broadcast partner, Randomania. They're airing so many of these matches. Community's putting a ton of work into it. We've got new people, we've got old people. Again, this community is out of this world, and I absolutely love it, and I'm honored and very humbled to be a member of it. Tristal, you don't know this, but I actually baned Chaos. That's how I was able to take him out after a second Cure 4. So when I told you I got lucky in the SRL chat, I got lucky because he had just Cure 4'd himself. The spring tournament has been out of this world. Upsets, close finishes, 3-second finishes, 4-second finishes, come from behind wins, mistakes, you name it. It's been entertaining for the viewer. It's been awesome. We're only in the 2nd week, and upsets galore. You never know what's going to happen. Tune in, join the party, join the Discord. I'll be right there. You need anything, you come see me. You come see us in the Discord. If I'm not there, I bet you Maya's going to go ahead and take care of it. A real honor to play Tristal. Amazing player, champion upon champions. I look forward to a rematch. Thank you.
Tristal, any final thoughts from you?
Yeah, Willcleosis, GG, very well played. I also hope to see you in the final bracket as well. Hopefully I can get there.
All right, Papa. I think we saw another seed tonight that's going to be clipped when you and I are commentating again. So I think we're pretty good luck for dramatic races, or at least weird ones. What were your thoughts on tonight? And again, it was a real pleasure to commentate with you.
I think this, more than anything, proves that nobody is out of any race by any stretch of the imagination. And, you know, take it with a grain of salt. There are some phenomenal players in this tournament. Tristal, Edgeworth, Ice Blue, yourself, Maya. And we have brand new runners. You know, people that have only been playing this game a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe a month. And those players are coming in and taking down the old guard. And you guys are going to see a lot of new names popping up. I think this top 16 is going to be really eye-opening. We're going to see a lot of new runners that you guys aren't familiar with. And it's exciting. I'm really glad to be a part of this. And now I really got to win on Monday because I don't want to be 1-1.
I completely agree with you, Joey. I think this tournament is going to be something of a revolution, and I think we're already seeing that occur. And so this has been an absolute thrill to commentate tonight. And thank you so much to Tristal and to Willcleosis for just putting on an amazing show, coming from different approaches, different strategies, and really tackling this seat from different directions. And boy did it pay off at the end. So keep watching us here at Speed Gaming. Go ahead and join our community in the Discord. We're going to be here on Speed Gaming for another 3 weeks at least of Swiss flags before we get into the brackets. Again, we're also going to be over on Randomania if you want to check out their schedule for this tournament as well. Coming up, it looks like we're going to have a little bit of a break here for the Speed Gaming family and networks until it looks like we might have a middle of the night Bloodborne fiesta coming up at 3 a.m. Eastern. And so if you want to stay up all night and watch a little bit of Bloodborne, that'll be coming up on Speed Gaming in the middle of the night. For Joey and for Tristal and for Will and for our tracker, Mogwai, who did a spectacular job for us tonight. Give all of those folks a follow and come join us in the Discord and start running this game because Joey's absolutely right. Anybody can beat anybody on any given day. And so for Joey, I'm Mickman Maya, but you can just call me Maya. And thanks for watching.